if you find yourself as a man tearing up because you're under a lot of pressure and you're under a lot of responsibilities that you're trying to work out, and it seems like things are taking time to line up and the responsibilities are due before they line up all the way, where it forces your nervous system and it forces your emotions to produce a lot of energy. A lot of brothers that's from where I'm from are constantly put under stress and pressure and have to make strategic decisions quickly to survive and stay alive. And a lot of brothers find themselves hardening their emotions when the emotions are, if they're harnessed the right way, can prepare you to your next stage of your journey by being self-aware of how you think, how you feel, and what's presently going on. This series that I created called Out the Mud it's a movie and a documentary about a brother that is living in poverty, that looks around him and sees patterns and signs that's telling him that he don't have to live that way, that he does not have to continue living the life that everybody around him is living, that he can do something different. And he gets a divine awakening by walking outside and seeing mud on the ground and watching a gentleman that's on the TV screen molding mud into clay pots and pottery. And then there's a preacher that's preaching about how God molded mankind from the dirt of the ground and crafted something beautiful from the dirt, the soil, from the mud. And an idea clicked in his mind from seeing signs and symbols that pointed out his gifts and his talents that will make room for him and bring him before great men and great people. So he's in a stressed environment where there's a lot of hustling, where there's arguments at home over food, Pampers, the basic necessities that people need, and he's financially not as stable as he would like to be, but he's coming and bringing something home, and he's under a lot of pressure to provide stability and income for his family. He's getting into arguments with his baby mama, his girlfriend. He's getting into arguments with his mom. He's responsible for his brother. He's responsible for children in the community, and he's put under a lot of stress and pressure and has to figure out how things should work, and it's putting him under a lot of character development situations where he has to make a strong decision and think about the people that he loved, because he got to come back home to them. The police are harassing him, and in the process of being put under all this pressure and stress, he starts to pray. And in the process of him praying, God begins to show him signs of ways and avenues of how to get out of poverty. And he begins to listen and write down the things that he hears and make a list and start working at it day and night and starting to inspire and encourage others while he's going through the process himself. And he finds out that he has a gift of music. He's working with teens, he's talking to them and teaching them about rap music, and he begins to use music as a way to teach the teens, and they become receptive to it in his classes at the community center. A lot of the teens at the community center are getting judged and talked about and joned on, so he begins cutting their hair and realizes that he got a gift for cutting hair too. So he begins to start making songs to inspire the youth at the community center, and he begins to use his haircutting skills to help with the appearance of the youth in the community centers, and their mamas start taking compassionate consideration of him and start looking at him like a role model, and women start bringing their sons to him because now he's got a full classroom of young men that was in the neighborhood that was doing the wrong thing. And now a lot of the guys that was doing the wrong thing are now inspired to be in school. A lot of them are changing their looks and their appearance. A lot of them are finding inspiration just from being around the young brother that wants to make a positive difference. And so his class goes from being 2 to 3 students to being a full classroom with 30 to 50 students in a short amount of time, just from providing haircuts and talking to the young men in the chair about life and trying to help them become a better version of themselves. And so his girlfriend, when she sees him in action helping the young men and talking to them in the classroom, she stops giving him so much back talk and so much arguments and conversation about what he's doing, and she begins to start trying to help him. And so we see a transition from the young man of being a young brother in the hood that's struggling, whose family is in poverty, who's in an environment with a bunch of situations and decisions where he got to make quick decisions, from him being financially unstable and trying to help people, to now the progression of him becoming a role model, a mentor, a teacher, and then eventually owning his own shop at the end of the movie and having a mentorship program that helps the youth. And a lot of the young brothers that was in his class that he was mentoring ended up being young men that go and work inside of his shop because he trained them. He started off cutting their hair and going to barber school. And in the process of him going through barber school and getting trained, he began to start taking the young men whose hair he was cutting, the ones that was interested in learning how to cut hair, he started training them on how to start cutting hair. And when he opened up his shop, those were the first people that he brought with him because he personally trained them. Get it off the mud. This is a video dialogue of a movie that I created from a marketing system that I had designed to help brothers that was in the hood take hood terminology and use it for business and marketing in order to turn around their finances from hustling to thriving. To hustle means that you have an honest understanding of survival to live and be aware of your surroundings. A hustler, H-U-S-T-L-A. A hustler means that you have an honest understanding of survival to live every day and be ready. You're ready for whatever comes your way. Why? Because when you live in the hood, anything can change at any given moment. So you are self-aware and you are always watching and paying attention to what's going on around you, because things can go left quick when you're in the hood. You could be at a club having a good time. Somebody can get into an argument. It could be a shootout. So people are always watching and paying attention and being aware. And when you're a hustler, the first thing that you begin to look for is what's around you that you can use as a tool to come up. If you're around a bunch of oranges, you're going to start plucking the oranges off the tree and figuring out how to monetize the oranges so that way you can make some income to take care of your family. You're going to start using the orange peels as ingredients to be able to have a marinade for barbecue. You're going to use the oranges to make orange juice. You're going to sell the whole orange so somebody can have a snack. You're going to use whatever you have around you as a tool in order for you to make income. That is the mentality of a hustler. A hustler gets work and don't ask people for much. Get work, which is a job that you do on your own work, and flip it And when you flip it, you double your money and then you re-up again. So work could be, I know somebody that has 100 pairs of Jordans, and I know I'm a salesman, so I'm going to get these 100 pairs of Jordans on consignment. I know that I owe this person back X amount of dollars for the Jordans, so either I can give them a lump sum of cash to buy them all at one time and then flip them for a higher price, or he might give me consignment, which means that when I sell pairs, I got to give him some money out of what I'm selling because he might not have to get the salesmanship. So as a hustler, you have to be a great salesman. As a hustler, you have to think strategically. As a hustler, you have to be a strong team builder. As a hustler, you have to be aware of who you're around and the thought process and the mentality of the people that you are around. When you are thriving, to go from the hustling mentality to thriving means that you are living in abundance. That means that you have an abundance of everything. To go from hustling to thriving means that you have reached above the poverty level line and you are now on the status of having a house or multiple houses or multiple cars, and your income is expendable, meaning if you wanted to plan a trip and go out of town somewhere, you can just drop some money and go. If you wanted to move out of town, you have the finance to be able to have a house here and have a house out of state. You have the ability and the means to thrive in the environment that you're in, or go to another environment and thrive in that environment. So I want to help young brothers between the ages of 12 to the age of probably about like 50. Okay, so this goes from young teens to older gentlemen, but mainly the target is 12, I want to say, to about 25 to 30, because that is 2 generations under me. I'm 44 years old. To be able to help them to come up faster and quicker in a shorter amount of time by having detailed points that they can follow and get straight to where they're trying to go. Because the more brothers that do that, the more brothers are able to help out around them, because now they're stable and financially stable. They can be more of a help to society. I created this system and this program because I myself found myself in situations, and I myself found myself wanting to be a better man, a better brother, a better community activist, and a person that just wanted to do more out of life. And when you want more out of life, sometimes you got to leave and separate yourself from people that don't want the same things out of that you do. And it's okay. You can love them. You can still want what's best for them. But sometimes you got to separate yourself. And separating yourself means that you have to have a different way of thinking. And God will put you in situations where when you are around people that don't think the same way as you do, and they're doing things that are causing your lifestyle to be compromised, then you have to separate yourself from them, because either they're going to influence you or you're going to influence them. And so if they're influencing you toward a wrong direction, you can love a person from a distance and separate yourself and get what you need and where you need to go, and then come back and be of assistance to that person, because sometimes people don't see they need help. And if they don't see they need help and they don't see they need growth, then how they gonna grow? You got to either have a person around you that's growing that inspire you, or sometimes you got to be left alone to where you realize, I don't want to be alone no more, and God will put you in an environment where you'll be under so much pressure where you're going to want to be able to grow. So Get It Out the Mud is a movie, documentary, and a book, an audio book for teens between the ages of 12, the young adults at the age of 25 and 30, to help them progress from poverty to thriving. You can reach me online at www.stylistjohn.com, 314-359-5499. I can get you fly. If you want to take any type of classes, I have workshops on photography, I have workshops on videography, I have workshops on public speaking, I have workshops on barbering and cosmetology, where you can learn a skill that no one can take away from you. And I have the links below.